everybody, my name is Stephanie and this is Alex, and today we are going to talk to you about something that we desperately needed in our house, something that will double to quadruple the life of your produce. So before I show you what it is, if you haven't guessed already, I'm gonna tell you a little story. So it's not a very long story, but if you think about going to the grocery store, it's a riveting story already, right? So you're going, you've got your shopping cart and you're going through the produce aisle. You're like, oh, this looks good. And oh, I should eat this week. And though this is organic, it must be good stuff. And you just keep putting all the stuff in your grocery cart. And then you get home and you put it all in the fridge. And they're like, oh, that was such hard work. I don't feel like eating a salad. And then you go for the Oreos instead. And then later that day, then you're like, oh yeah, I bought all that good produce. It's good stuff. I really don't feel like eating carrots today. Nope, potato chips sound better. So tell me I'm not the only one that ends up happening. So 3, 4, 5 days go by. You're like, okay, I'm totally going to eat my produce today. And you look and it's, oh my gosh, it's slimy. It's disgusting. And you throw it all away. And then you start all over again. Right? Like, tell me I'm not the only one that happens to. Oh, it's a cycle, vicious cycle. So when I first started selling Tupperware and I used our fabulous FRIDGESMART products, I was absolutely enamored, like no joke, absolutely enamored. So if you know me at all, then you know that I'm a skeptic. So when I first started selling Tupperware, I'm like, oh yeah, Tupperware, this is a gimmick. It's not really that good. They just want you to buy more stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to try strawberries. That was the first thing. Alex, can you guess why I tried strawberries first?
Because they don't last very long?
Exactly. They don't last very long. I knew they would rot. Experiment over. All done. Moving on to the next product, right? So I went to the grocery store and I brought home a carton of strawberries and I put half of them in a FRIDGESMART. I left half of them in the carton and I literally told my husband, don't touch them. We're going to watch them rot. He was like, okay. But he did. He left them there so we could watch them rot. So the first thing I noticed is if you look at the grid, it tells you, see if I can go closer, there's half air, no air, full air, and then the X means these ones don't go in the fridge. So they're veggies on the top, fruits on the bottom, so you can find things easier. But if you look here, we find strawberries right there. They're in the no air category. So they need no air. Now, how do strawberries come in the grocery store, Alex? How do strawberries come in the grocery store when you pick them up?
In a carton?
In a carton. A carton that's fully exposed to air. They might come in a clamshell, which again has holes all over the place. Fully exposed to air. No wonder they're rotting. They need to be shut off from air. So that's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, well, that makes no sense. Of course they're going bad. So also they have little grids on the bottom. That means that the moisture, there you go, the moisture, it falls to the bottom. So if you rinse your strawberries, which dirty fruit and veggies do last longer, so don't rinse it unless you plan on eating it in the very near future. But all of the moisture, it comes to the bottom. It doesn't stay on your produce. This is why you should sell Tupperware too, because then if you drop it, it doesn't break. It is, that's perfect. So with these, I put half of them in here, closed up the vent. There's full air, no air, half air. Okay, so I slid it in the middle, which is no air. So if I wanted half air, careful son, you'd slide it over to half air. If you want full air over here, you just slide it over. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, so I put it in the middle because that is where strawberries are, all berries actually. They need no air, and the grids, put them in there. So 3 days the strawberries were mushy. 4 days they were definitely gross. 5 days they were disgusting. They were moldy. I threw them out after 5 days. These ones, the ones that were in here, and again, they were from the same batch. So comparing apples to apples or strawberries to strawberries. 2 weeks later, no joke, 2 weeks later, they were still good and we ate them. Like I ate them. To me, that's a big deal because if anything is stale or slightly gross, sister doesn't eat that. It's gross, disgusting. These were
very picky, just like you.
Yeah, I wonder where he gets it from. So 2 weeks later, they were perfect and I ate them. Like that is a big deal. It was absolutely mind blowing to me. And I think about how many times I would have rebought strawberries just to have strawberries in the house in that 2 week time period. Well, if they only last for 3 days, that's like 4 or 5 times that I would have had to buy strawberries. And I didn't, I ate them all. So you're saving money because you don't have to buy things as often. You can buy bulk as well. So you can go to Costco or Sam's or whatever you have near you. You can buy them in bulk. You can buy a flat at a time because you usually save money when you buy a flat berries or other bulk shopping because they will last as long. Genius. You save so much money. So Alex, here's a bit of trivia for you. Are you ready? How much money does the average American household throw away in 1 year in produce alone? Dollar amount. What do you think? I didn't tell him the
$100?
answer. Oh, $100. That's cute. He obviously doesn't pay the bills. So the average household throws away $1,000 in produce every single year. So think about it. If someone were to hand you $1,000, here's $1,000, what would you do with it? I would pay some bills. I would go shopping. I would go on vacation. Like there's all kinds of things that I would do with $1,000 every year, other than buy produce that I'm going to throw away. We tend to throw away $30 to $50 chunks at a time. So when you bring your groceries home, you bring your produce home and you want to put the new stuff in, take the old stuff out, you're throwing away $30 to $50 worth of produce every single time you clean out your fridge. Again, those are averages. If you don't, I applaud you. Good job. Maybe you throw away more than that. It's an average for a reason. But I don't want to throw away anything. We hardly throw away any produce at all anymore because we have our FRIDGESMART. Absolutely amazing.
And genius.
And genius, absolutely genius. So there's another thing that I wanted to mention about the FRIDGESMART, and that is sometimes people say, oh yeah, I bought those 5 years ago. I wonder where they are. Think about how much money you would have saved in that last 5 years had you used these. So here's what you do. You clear off a shelf. These don't go in your produce drawers. Produce drawer is another word for compost bin, just so you know. Okay. Don't use the produce drawer. What's in our produce drawer at home? It's those drawers. What do we put in our drawers at home in our fridge?
Applesauce.
There's applesauce in our little packages. We have
Tortillas.
applesauce. We have tortillas. We have some cheese in there and some yogurts. So we use our drawers, our produce drawers, or otherwise known as compost bins. We put all of the stuff that gets littered all over your fridge and gets lost and shoved to the back. That's what goes in our drawers. So FRIDGESMART, clear off a shelf, sometimes two, depending on how much we have at the time. They go on the shelf. They're clear, so you can see through them. And Alex has the small here. I've got the small deep. They stack beautifully. Mediums are twice as wide. So a medium, 2 smalls would fit on top of a medium. And there are other sizes that come out periodically, but we just have the small deep and the small right here. The lids are the same for all the small sizes. The medium sizes, they're all the same as well. So interchangeable. Don't have to figure out what goes with what. So gold in the fridge, absolutely gold for your produce, saving money all over the place. And since they are grouped as a set in the catalog, you could host a party and get the entire set for half price. So absolutely the best deal. Free and half price are my favorite kind. Yours too, right? Yeah, free is a good deal. All right, questions? Are you good? I think we got it all. Thanks for joining us.
It was amazing.
Amazing.
Bye.